Welcome back. So, we'll be going through now a programming language journey. So, I'm planning to complete the Java series that will be required as a part of the extended journey. So, this will be the very first session of the introduction to the programming language. So, generally, like what is a programming language, the question comes to our mind. So if we look further, we can see that programming language is nothing but it's kind of a very special language that helps human to communicate with computers. So basically it bridges the gap between our high level thinking and the low level operation a computer can understand, because as you know, a computer can understand the language of the binary or the machine code, but we human, in order to talk with the computer, we have to use a programming language. That means somehow we need to translate our code to the machine level code for which a computer can understand and can bring the required output. If we see here we can say here the human. Okay, we want to print a hello under computer screen, and we need to write with the help of a programming language, which will then come, it will be output as a hello, like we are asking the computer to write hello here, and we are getting the output as hello. So in short, what we can say about a programming language, it's a bridge, okay, or kind of the translator between the human ideas and computer operation. Then second one, this programming language has its own vocab, grammar and syntax, because we need to follow them so that it will understand it properly and convert to the desired output. Then there will be different programming languages. However, we will be going with Java here. Okay, now let's understand that how a programming language works. Okay, now the left side you can see that I want to make a circle. Okay, make a circle that I want to change it to a square. Okay, this is the human idea. You can say the idea here that it is a problem statement for me. Okay, now what I will do, that I have to write in a particular programming language code. Okay, it will convert it. You can see the machine level code 0101 is the code. Okay, and now when it will be fed to the computer, if you see here right side, the computer will be processed to able to process this code. Okay, and it will declare the output like it is a it's a circle. We have given the input as a circle, and I need to convert it to the square. The computer is going to convert it. So if we observe the flow here, like I am writing it in a certain format. Okay, like this is just the idea here, but I have to write it in a certain format which need to be get converted into this particular machine level code internally, and the computer need to process it and does the required output. Here it is producing a square for me by taking a circle as input. Okay, so this is just to understand that how a programming language works and what is the programming language. Then next it comes to our mind that why to learn a programming language. So let's take an example. Okay, if you see here left side, it's without programming language, and right side is the with programming language. Here I'm trying to sort the letter, right? So a person is trying to bring the text manually, and he has to sort around 9 letters. Okay, and if you see here, like we have to do it one by one, and it is taking the lot of time. But in the right side, if I write the same thing with the code, okay, So mostly like all our operations or maybe day-to-day tasks. For example, I have to find out some grade of the 100 people or 1000 people, or the calculate the mark or in the Excel. So I have to apply some filters and I have to do so many of manual tasks, right? This is just an example that if I automate it, if I write it, okay, with the help of the programming, then it is getting done in very less time. Again, let's see the animation again. If you see something, we are doing it manually, and in the right side we are just writing the program and it is doing it in a single go. Now coming to different programming language, we have lot of programming language available. So if you see, one of the example is the Python, which is very easy, readable, and it is great for the automation and data science. Then JavaScript, generally we use it for the web development, and next one will be the Java, which will be covering, which is more robust and cross-platform, and mostly the favorite for the enterprise application. And C++ might have we have covered earlier during our college stage. So it's basically very fast and used for mostly games and system, and very powerful language. Okay, then there are other emerging languages as well as there are Ruby, Go, Swift, and R. So many things are there. However, our focus will remain for the Java here. Look at the evolution of the computer languages. So if you see here, the very first one will be the machine code. That means the binary instruction that is directly executable by CPU. So if you see here, like it is in the terms of 0 1 0 0, so it's completely binary, which is not easily readable by, I mean, human, but it will be readable by computers only. Then we move one step ahead. We have the assembly level code, where we have the low level direct hardware control that you might have done in the colleges as well, like edit the it will be kind of the circuit, then we have to add A, add B, kind of that. So it is also difficult for the human. Then we move one more level, that is the Java and C, which we can say the high level programming language, that is more abstract or the portable code. So here you have to give in the instruction kind of in plain English language, like system out println hello, like we are following some syntax and we are writing hello, and it is readable by human. Okay, next it's currently the, I think, the mostly the interpreted language, right? The which is the very high level language. Okay, so like Python and JavaScript, where you have to write very less number of lines as compared to, if you see here, right, and above we are writing system.out.println. Now here I am just writing like print and hello, and it is very readable. Okay, and yeah, so this is the evolution of computer languages, the evolving of the programming languages. So now you might be wondering that how the programming languages are being computed to the machine level code. Like you can see here, right, we talk about this is converted to the machine level code. Let's try to understand. Okay, now what we discussed, that computer can only understand the machine level code. So the way we translate the human readable code into machine level instruction, we need to take the help of compiler and interpreter. Okay, let's understand what is a compiler. So compiler, they are nothing but the code translator. A compiler translates your entire source code into machine code before execution. Like if you see here, the source code is there, the compiler translates the entire program, and the CPU executes and the program output. It just think up like translating an entire book of English to French at once before reading it. That is, whatever you have written from start to end, it will convert it together. Like it analyzes the complete code first. Okay, then it creates a machine readable executable file, and the program it directly runs on the CPU after compilation. Okay, the examples you can take the C, C++, and the Rust. Now, so just remember the term like compiler is nothing but our code translator. It translates the whole code at a single go. Okay. Now, what are the interpreters then? Interpreters is nothing but the code reader. Okay. So it reads and executes your code line by line at the runtime. It's like having a translator read the book you page line by line. Okay, that in our case you see it is taking the whole book in a single go. Here it is reading line by page. Okay, so there will be no separation compilation step. It executes the instruction directly. It does not produce an executable file. Okay, so you can take the example of JavaScript, Python, or Ruby. If you see it is reading the code line by line. Okay, now to see more detail the differences about the compiler and the interpreter, let's look at this example. Okay, now you can see here I need to write a Java program, but computer like understand the machine code what we discussed. So what we do, let's see the very first one. We'll try to write a program. It will be in the Java code. So if you see, this is a program of the calculator which is returning the sum as a plus b, and which will go more in detail when we start learning about the Java. And this is a simple program. Okay, when we start writing, you will be able to understand this. Okay, so it's simply returning a sum a plus b. Okay, and calculating the sum 5 plus 3. So what my compiler does, okay, it will split into like it will read the whole code. Okay, so it will be splitting into different blocks, like which are the keywords, identifier, operators, punctuations, and all. And it will do the processing. It will throw the error if it will does not, if you are not following the syntax and all. And then it will be generating a machine level code like this. Okay, so it will be the machine level code which we can directly run. Okay, in case of Java it is different. It uses a hybrid approach. Like in C, you can directly run this code. Okay, and this is the intermediate file will be generated. But so the main difference is to observe here that it is reading the whole program in a single go. Now when we come to this interpreter, right? So if you see here, the same kind of program we have written. Okay, let me show you. So if you see, I am greeting the name. Okay, hello, my name is XYZ, whatever I need to greet it. Now how the interpreter works. Okay, so if you see here, just see the animation here. It is trying to read it line by line. Okay, so the region, the showing for the differences between the compiler and interpreter. It takes everything in a single go and it does the work line by line. Okay, now in a comparison between the compiler and interpreter. Okay, if you see the translation process, compiler all will be at one, it will be on a single go. However, if you go for the interpreter, like we see, it will be line by line. The execution speed, it will be faster in case of the compiler. It will be little bit slower in comparison in case of interpreter. Error detection, it will happen before the execution because we have already gone through the whole code in a single code. However, in case of the interpreter, it will happen during the execution because it will go line by line. Then memory usage, compiler little bit efficient as compared to interpreter. It is kind of the moderate. And the development speed, it will be slower for the compiler. The interpreter, it will be a little faster. The executable file, it we'll see in the case of the Java as well. whatever, or might be you might have seen in the college as usual, whenever whichever programming language using the compiler, when we compile that, it generates an intermediate file. But in case of interpreter, we will see there will be no intermediate file. Portability, it will be limited for the compiler and it will be high for the interpreter.